So let's get started, guys. This is called Can You Smell the Orange? And Mindset Techniques. And it's about using all five of your senses. Now, let me be very clear. There's a difference between meditation and what I'm going to teach you today, because meditation is basically for relaxing and really doing it with no thoughts. No, we don't want to think about anything. We want total relaxation. These techniques that I'm going to teach you is about using all five of our senses: emotion, smell, sight, um, hearing, and so forth, and to really combine those to get those into a balance so we can really feel good on a daily basis. And I'm going to teach you guys the basics today, and review. For some of you, this is review. But I'm going to go a little bit more in detail. But then I'm also going to show you how you can use these techniques for your everyday life, for healing, for stress release, for your business, and so forth. And it's very powerful. This has been around for hundreds of years. Professional athletes actually go through this. The coaches that are really good coaches, they actually put their players through this. The Olympic coaches always put their players through this visualization thing that I'm going to teach you. And I developed this, wow, many, many years ago. And I've been using it with executives, doctors, government officials, my martial arts students. And the people that do this on a daily basis have an incredible result in their lives and in their business. So this is how it's going to work. When you guys implement this technique, you're going to want a place where it's very quiet, you're not getting disturbed, because you need to take this time for yourself. It's very, very important. The other thing is, because we don't want anything to stimulate a distraction or put a different thought in your brain while you're doing this, because we have to train our brain daily. Now, this technique only takes 10-15 minutes twice a day. Morning time I recommend, and at nighttime. Here's why. Don't try to do it in the afternoon. Afternoon, we're too tired. Our brain is a little bit more unenergized, I think is the word. And so we need to do it in the morning and right before we go to bed, because we're actually at a relaxed state. So it's a really good time to do that. So when you're dreaming, you can really start manifesting the things and the thoughts that you really want. So these two spots work very well. So try to fit that in when you wake up in the morning. Okay, so here's how we would do these techniques. Okay, and this is how you can smell the orange. Very basic. And then I will have a Q&A session at the end. Now, what I want you guys to do is really imagine a spot in your kitchen. I like to use the kitchen area. And I want you to close your eyes right now. And I want you to really relax yourself and just listen to my voice. My voice is all I want you to hear. Don't listen to anything else right now. And I want you to picture your kitchen table. Your kitchen table, the details of it. If it's wood, if it's metal, whatever it may be, I want you to listen to that. And I really want you to get the details of it. And I want you to look at your hands right now and physically lift up your hands and try to look at your hands, but don't open your eyes. I want you to be able to see your hands and kind of turn them around. Okay, good. Now we got the feeling going in of motion. Next step I want you to do is I want you to picture a cutting board on the table with an orange on it and a cutting knife. And I want you to get a really clear picture of this. It has to be where you can really, really see it. If you're seeing blackness right now, you're not quite there yet. You need to see a clear picture, and this takes time and practice. So picture an orange on a cutting table, on your kitchen table. Now with your left hand, I want you to grab that orange and really feel it, like you're really turning it around, feel it. And I want you to take your dominant hand, your cutting hand, and I want you to pick up that knife and I want you to start cutting that orange and actually go through the action of it. I want you to go through the action of actually cutting that orange in half. Okay, once you've done that, I want you to pick up that half of orange with your left hand or your dominant hand, and I want you to look at it. And I want you to be able to see it. And then I want you to do is lift it up to your nose, and I want you to take a deep breath. And if you do this properly every day, and once you get all 5 of your senses matched, you'll be able to literally smell this. Okay? All right, go ahead and put that down. Go ahead and put down the orange. And I want you to relax. Now, what I want you to do is, right at this point, I want everything to start disappearing, starting with the orange, the cutting table, the knife, all of it's gone. All you see is your kitchen table now and just you. And now your kitchen table is gone. And I want you to open your eyes. Okay. Now, guys, this is such a simple technique, but it teaches you so many things. And let me share that with you. There is no difference for our brain, and this is a medical fact. It doesn't know the difference between what you see in reality and what you see in your brain. That's a medical fact, okay? And so we need to learn how to get all our senses there. Now, some of you might have been able to smell the orange. Now, some of you are still seeing blackness. You're not quite there. Maybe there was a distraction, or I was talking too fast. And that's why the video that I made, you'll be able to do this on your own time slower, okay? The other thing is about putting your body into action. If you're just meditating and your arm is not moving or your body's not moving, we tend not to believe what's going on. So this is a big problem. Nothing will work. Imagine this. You guys had a dream before. I'm sure many of you had dreams before where you were throwing a ball or you were running and you actually woke up from it because you actually literally threw the ball. Anybody have that experience before? Yes. See, your brain doesn't know the difference. It's real to you at that time and your muscles will fire. And if we learn how to do this in the real world now and we get to control it, imagine what you can manifest. It's incredible. It's very incredible. And I want you to go back to those times that you had that dream where it felt like you were falling, right? And your body felt the falling, right? Anybody have those dreams? See, yes, yeah. And anybody have a dream where it felt so real you could literally see color and feel pain and so forth? If so, this is what I'm talking about. We can control this. And with these techniques, we can make it happen. And we can make it become a reality. Now, in my martial arts, and I'm going to use Star Wars and martial arts a lot because it's my passion and I love talking about it. But Star Wars, actually, if you guys have, I'm sure everybody's seen it, but if you really watch closely, Star Wars is really about our lives. There's the dark side that represents our negative and trouble side that we go through, and there's the Jedi Masters, which are always the teachers trying to teach students how to overcome the obstacles in their life, right? So Star Wars is such a great series that really shows you what we go through on a daily basis. So I use that regularly. And if you think about the mindset of moving things and whatever, it's fun. But when we're talking about building a business or healing or releasing our stress or just being able to go through our daily routine stress-free and happy, these techniques will really help get your 5 senses balanced, okay? And it's very important that we understand there's a difference between meditation and this. And I think now you guys have a better understanding of what the difference are, okay? The other thing, now we talked about how this technique helps you put things into action. And let me give you a really kind of a preview on the business side. Now, I know a lot of people, when they do any type of business, they have to communicate with customers. Okay, regardless if it's going to be a new distributor or a brand new person that's just going to buy product, we have this fear of talking to them for some reason. And the biggest fear is asking for the money, right? And we don't sometimes, especially when we're new, we don't know what to say. So here's my advice to you. And trust me, uh, I take, learn from my experiences. When I went to America, I sat in class, and I didn't say anything because I didn't understand nothing the teacher was saying. And I would just laugh when the students laughed, or, I was one of those very mute students, and the teacher thought I was handicapped because I wasn't engaging. Um, we have to understand that fear of speaking, man, I was scared because I didn't know how to speak. But the more I practiced speaking and got over it because of my mentors that I had in my life and learning these techniques through my martial arts, it was an incredible gift because now I love talking to people. I have no fear of rejection because I believe so much in what I do, and this techniques will help you overcome that. Here's why. If you can see yourself talking to someone, regardless if the answer you get back is negative or not, a yes or a no, you will overcome talking to people very quickly. I I worked with executives in South Korea that had a fear of doing presentations, and this was a must for them. If they didn't do good presentations, they would not do well, right? So they would always have somebody else do it for them. But in our business, guys, we have to learn how to brand ourselves as that leader or as that business owner because we are all franchise owners, okay, of the company RX. You have to see yourself at that. If you're just a promoter, how, if you only see yourself as a promoter or a salesman, you're going to have a really difficult time with this business. You have to see yourself as a franchise owner. This is extremely important, number one. Then you have to see yourself and visualize yourself always talking to people. And trust me, I'm going to give a whole webinar on how to do this. And it's going to be amazing. After your first couple phone calls, your fear is going to be gone. And you'll be able to talk to a lot more people. And for this, one step alone will get you to go to the next level in this business. I promise you. Because I bet you for most people, this is the one thing that's keeping you from really moving forward is talking to more people daily. Okay, and so physically talking. Now, so that's kind of a preview for that. The other thing that these techniques will do is really get your spiritual life balanced. And it doesn't matter what religion you come from. And please don't be offended if I say that. But for me, I'm a Christian person and I believe in God, and I have this certain balance in my life that I have. Now, if someone is not a Christian, doesn't matter. Spiritually means this is your spiritual being of balance, meaning if you're stressed or angry all the time or frustrated, your spirituality is not balanced. So we need to bring that to our other emotions and our other senses that we have, our visual, our sight. Because here's the thing, emotion is the most powerful thing in this technique. If this formula is missing, it doesn't matter what you think about, it will never manifest because that emotion and your visual has to match. Okay? And then the next step would be action, of course, but our emotion is so important. I remember having this student in my martial art class where he got frustrated so much because he just was such a perfectionist. And if you guys can relate to that, I'm kind of like that. It takes me forever to get things out because I want things to be perfect. So the student would get frustrated all the time and all the time, and he was wondering why he couldn't do things like the other students could do. And it's because his emotions were taking over his body, his emotions, his spirituality was taking over. And the more frustrated he'd get, the more angry he would get. And then eventually he would just shut down and he couldn't do it. He would give up. And so we have to control that one part. Okay, so this technique will really, really help you get you to a balance on that part. Okay, and so this is how you would do it. Now, when you guys are doing these techniques, it's going to get more and more advanced and you're going to add things. So I want you to start small. That's why I called it this Can You Smell the Oranges, because it's such a simple technique to do, right? And so But when we get more advanced, like especially in the business part or healing, the healing part takes so much energy. And let me share with you a very quick story. 2 years ago, I actually had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that tumor actually spread to my brain, and I was on my way out. Trust me, it was a pea-sized tumor which turned into a golf-sized tumor within 2 weeks. And my friend at the hospital in South Korea uh, very much wanted to do surgery immediately. But for me, I asked the question, well, if you do the surgery, what are the chances of me being normal? And because of the placement of the tumor, I would have lost all my motor skills. I wouldn't have been able to speak. And could you imagine? It took me so long to learn English. I would have to learn everything over plus Korean, and I didn't want to do any of that. And so I pretty much would have been this vegetable. And so I just decided to go on a complete raw diet of raw foods. Mushrooms, every mushroom you can think of, I got on. Chaga, gano, every mushroom you can think of, certain types of herbs, ginseng, every raw food, never cooked, I went on, and I was taking like 10,000 calories of that a day. Not 4,000 calories or two of 10. And I would mix it into a drink, and I was taking that. But with, the help of angels and my family that, that was supporting me in the prayer of my church. And of course, I went through this incredible mindset training every day, seeing myself healed, seeing myself healthy, seeing myself walking around without disease. People will talk about this all the time. Some people will think, well, this is ridiculous, but you are a powerful being. I have seen such incredible miracles in this world, and it's absurd. And I argue with a lot of my doctor friends on this a lot because they're very science only, very narrow-minded. And but it's incredible because I always tell them, you are Korean, but you prescribe herbal medication, but you're still narrow-minded because you were trained somewhere else, and I don't understand why your brain is that way. And so we have these arguments all the time. Now, I also have good friends in America that are doctors, and they're extremely skeptical in this weird, and I always tell them it's because you don't understand it is the reason why you're skeptical. And until you go through something, you will never understand it, but you still have to be open-minded. And they said they do agree with me on that. Okay, so we do have some very healthy arguments, and that's good to have. So guys, I'm here now. I made it to my I made it to my next birthday, and I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm cancer-free. Yesterday I weighed myself. I'm actually back at my normal weight. I was like 129 pounds because, I did do some radiation therapy to slow down the tumor because it was so aggressive while I was getting on my raw foods. But I didn't go on the normal length of time for radiation because it was pretty much killing me anyway. So I was it's kind of a catch-22, right? You have to do something to do something. But today I weighed myself, I'm over 170 pounds now, back to my normal weight. The only thing is my hair never grew back properly. So I always have to constantly, I went bald. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's hereditary. But anyway, guys, these techniques are very powerful. And so you need to give yourself this time. If you guys are parents and have little children, find the time. You deserve it. You deserve 10, 15 minutes. This is all it takes. And the more you get better at it, the better you get at it, you guys will be able to really get the notice of how this is going to implement your life. Start small. Try to manifest something out of it. And it's really fun once you learn how to do it. Some of my martial arts students, that one student I was telling you about, he won a gold medal in the Junior Olympics. And once he figured out how to use the techniques, and his frustration went away, his attitude changed, and he won a gold medal in the Junior Olympics. And so he went from this kid that was the under average athlete to a Junior Olympic gold medalist. So guys, could you imagine what this could do for you in your business and your personal life? So don't just use this for your business. Use this for everything, and it's fun and it's relaxing and it's just amazing, and you'll do well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the channel a little bit. If you guys have questions, do you guys see the chat box to the right on your computer? If you're calling in, just give me the last few digits of your phone number and I will unmute you and you can answer or ask the question through the phone. Let's see. Somebody said what is the word? Salivated when they cut the orange. What does it mean? Their saliva came out? Maybe? Oh. Okay, thank you. That's too funny. Is people having a hard time with the chat area?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just, maybe I'll unmute and hopefully we don't have a lot of chaos. Let me just run down the thing. Greg, can we hear you? I think I have you unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Do you have a question?
No, I was just trying to learn how to use the chat box.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you. It's good stuff.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, you're very, very welcome.
But I figured it out. I touch your picture, then that puts me in the chat with you. So I figured that out.
Oh, okay. There you go. I guess you have to touch. This is, actually, I've been using the system for a while, but they upgraded a lot of new things because I haven't used it since I've been in this company. And so it's a little bit new, but it's a very powerful platform. As you know, a lot of us can be on camera. We can interact very easily, and I can show you videos and all kinds of stuff here. Plus, I can have up to 2,000 people internationally on this line.
Wow.
And the really cool thing is if you guys have people that are in different countries, you could actually call in locally, and I will start making the list of those local numbers. So if you're in Scotland, if you're in UK, if you're in South Korea, it doesn't matter. You can be able to call a local number, and you can also call in as well.
Perfect, yeah. And I'm using this on an iPad, so it's working well.
Okay, great. And you guys are able to hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Let me unmute some people here, so if they have any questions. Is there anybody that has any questions for me?
Can you repeat that two specific times?
I know that voice. I think it's Stefan Powell, right? He has that very his voice. But I can't hear you very well, Stefan.
Can you hear me better now? June, can you hear me better?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Could you repeat again the 2 times of the day that you said this process works best?
Yes. Right after you get up in the morning, once your brain kind of wakes up, right? Just after you have your coffee or so, that's a really good time to do that before you start your day, because you want to visualize your day out, right? And so especially when we get into the next training on how to do your business, this is going to be very important. The second time would be right before you go to bed, because right before you go to bed, especially if you're tired, you go through this sleep stage where your brain, and you might even, if you start doing this, you might even start dreaming. For those of you that don't dream much, you might actually start dreaming a lot. This is a normal sensation. But don't worry if you don't, but your brain will take in more of that information subconsciously, Stefan and you guys, if you do it at those times. But I don't recommend doing this in the afternoon. Afternoon time is really designed more for just meditation. If you need a meditation time in the afternoon, just to relax, because you're already at a very kind of relaxed state, it's a different than when right before you go to bed. It's a little different state. But so those are the two times.
So should we spend time mastering just the orange and being able to smell the orange and see the orange before we move on to try to visualize our day?
I would start mastering that technique for two reasons: to get you in the habit of understanding how to do it, and also get in the habit of doing it because it's simple. For some people, it takes them a little bit longer to master the skill to smell the orange. That's probably the hardest part, is the smelling and the emotion part. A lot of people still see blackness, right? And they know what an orange looks like. They know what their kitchen table looks like, but they can't see vivid details yet. They still see blackness because they're focused on that too much. So yes, master that a little bit, but don't spend too much time on it. Just use it as kind of a starting point. But you should do the smell the orange like first for the first couple minutes, and then go into the next part of the day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So like, for example, guys, in my martial arts school or executives, what I would have them do is do the orange technique very quickly just to get them warmed up. And then I would have them visualize doing their form, their pumse techniques in their brain. And then I would have them do it blindfolded, and then they would do it with their eyes open. It's a night and day difference. Their techniques were so incredibly crisp and good, right? So that's what will help you during the day, all right? So, but remember, guys, there's a there's a difference between your physical action and a mental action. So what I mean by that is, I guess talking on the phone would be a physical action, but punching is a physical, like a totally a physical action. Okay, speaking is a physical action. So we need to implement that into the technique as well. I hope, did that make sense? I hope I hope so. So, does anybody else have any questions?
Yes, June, I do.
Okay.
I think I missed the first part. So the technique is to just visualize an orange and get the sense of the smell of it. Is that it?
Actually, a little bit more to that. At the beginning, I was actually showing people that you want to start out with a very quiet spot. You want to visualize the kitchen table, a cutting board, and physically like lifting, the orange first before you cut it, and putting it down and actually cutting through the orange and literally move your arm like you're cutting through it. This shows action. It gets your body and brain moving together. And then, of course, after you cut it, I want you to look at the orange so you can actually see the cut orange, and that maybe the juice is coming out of it and so forth. Get it detailed and then lift it up and smell it. And you'll be surprised how many people actually smell the orange. It's amazing. And some people can't. Don't get frustrated with that. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means you're not quite there yet. Okay? I guarantee you, though, guys, you've had a dream where you could smell bread or you could smell something. And you wonder, man, I had such a realistic dream. I could smell and feel everything, right? Some of you have already experienced that before. If you haven't yet, that's okay. But everybody dreams. It's a medical fact. We dream. Just because you don't remember doesn't mean that you're not dreaming. You have to, because it's a way for your brain to kind of stay alive during your sleep process, okay? But the last thing was, Sarah, right? Sarah,
Yeah.
is that is at the end of it, you have to let the memory go. So that's why I said, imagine the orange disappearing, imagine the cutting board disappearing, imagine the kitchen and until you get blackness again. We have to be able to control our emotions. That's the control part. Okay? If you just stop thinking, then really your subconscious didn't store it. So we have to control the storage of that. Does that help? Oh, okay. All right. Is there any other questions people have?
Can you hear me, Jim?
Yes. Who is this?
This is Christine Parker.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. So I was trying to find out what types of things would you recommend visualizing as far as our working our business goes. Just when you're like, if you're a brand new person trying to build your team and get customers or have a fear of talking to people and that, do you have like suggestions on very first things to start visualizing after you've mastered the orange? Then what would you recommend going to next?
Yeah, for a brand new person, and I think I have a brand new person on this line that I just got in from California. And what I usually do is first thing I do is again, you already know this, Christine, is we set up our back office, we get all that stuff going. But then I have them visualize really what they really want out of this. Okay? It's kind of a general technique, but it will get them in the mindset of really staying motivated. So we have to have that motivational visualization first, because really they don't know anything yet, right? I would also have them visualize the products and how they would work for them and go from there. And then also get them directly into, right away, talking to people on the phone and saying a script. And the script is the script can be anything. It could be as simple as "Hello, hi, my name is," but it gets them started into a sentence. Christine, do you have scripts for when you talk to people, or how do you do that?
Yes, I have lots of scripts. I'm a script girl.
You're a script girl. Okay, great. So what I would do is, if you have a script that's working for you, I would have them really just start visualizing them reading that out loud, and then have them visualize a sentence by sentence by sentence. I know that seems like a lot of work, but after a while, they don't have to do that anymore because it just becomes a habit, right? And so that will get over the fear factor. Or here's another visualization, which I'm going to talk more about, Christine, in the actual business video. But Christine, do you have a fear of anything? And it could be spiders or whatever. Give me a simple fear. Are you scared of spiders?
Oh yes, I'm scared of the spiders. That's a good one.
Okay, good. Now, if you did a visualization of having a spider crawl on your hand, for some people, I've actually done this before, and it's amazing their body. They'll actually start sweating because they're really into this meditation, and they actually visualize a spider on them, and they'll actually start sweating because they're scared, and it becomes real to them. And that's why a lot of people, they have such a deep phobia of can't come out of their house or whatever it is. This is so real to them. So if you can do techniques of other fear factors, these are good ones to get over ones in your business. The business ones become so easy and, really not such a big deal if you conquer their major fear, right? Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing. I've been in martial arts, and I think I could fight pretty well. I don't know, but I'm scared of little bugs. So even if I start imagining little bugs crawling on me, I feel I itch like almost the whole rest of the day. I can't stand it. I'm kind of, and especially working in the medical field, the smaller the bug, I have a bigger fear of that. So bacteria and viruses are extremely bad for me. So yeah, Christine, I hope that helps. But I'm going to have a video, or not well, I do have a video, but another webinar next week where I'm going to go through the actual techniques for your business. And so this one will be really good for you guys for phone calling, and other techniques and so forth. Okay.
Great.
So does this time really work for you guys? I'm thinking about doing a Saturday at 9, and I think this is just really good because it can hit the other east. Okay, I got a lot of thumbs up, so I think this is going to be good. So we'll do exactly the same time next Saturday. So just plan that, put it in your schedule, and I'll set up the next one for next Saturday exactly the same time. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then, guys, I'm going to end this conference, and hopefully I did it properly where it recorded and we can put it on online for everybody else to read or listen to. So you guys, thank you again so much. It's been my pleasure to be on here and talking with you guys. So I'll see you.
Thank you, June.
Really?
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Great weekend.